Greetings, YouTube. I found myself watching trailers recently. I sometimes find myself falling down trailer rabbit holes when it comes to things like that. And one of the ones I saw was for the upcoming season of The Punisher, um, the Marvel production. And I've seen three Punisher movies over the years, um, varying in from very cartoonish to downright disturbingly violent. And I haven't seen the last one I saw. It was a very long time ago. I think I may have that on DVD, and I don't imagine I went to see it in the theater. And I personally had been moving away from some of the hyper violence that is available in films. For example, even though I have a great deal of respect for Tarantino, I pretty much can't watch his stuff anymore. I'm interested in The Hateful Eight. I just don't want to see some of the violence that is in it. And even though I am far more accepting of violence in cinema than my wife is, I still I still don't want that hyper violence because I don't think it's healthy and I don't think it's entertaining. Even though I know if done well, if you show that violence has consequences, it can have a greater impact than the cartoonish violence, say you see in a lot of action films, where someone will be running down a corridor trying to get to their goal, and they're just capping bad guys as they go, and they're just going ting ting ting, and there's no consequences to that violence. There's no visceral connection that that was a human being. It was a target. You shot it. You kept moving. It is a shooting range kind of a thing. And again, that kind of cartoon like Deadpool with that whole tongue in cheek thing, I think is far more acceptable than is taking these things seriously and then not playing up the consequences of your actions. But my wife's gotten even worse. She doesn't really want to see violence of any stripe at this point in her life. She can avoid it as far as entertainment's concerned. There's enough violence in the real world in the news. She doesn't need to see it as entertainment. And I found myself thinking about the character of the Punisher in the Marvel Universe. Now, the Marvel Universe is supposed to be a place where there are heroes opposing the darkness. And the thing is, a lot of the time, the things that Marvel heroes oppose are as equally large and bombastic as they are. So the Avengers are taking on Loki and his allies. Um, Daredevil's taking on criminals. Spider-Man takes on a little more powerful criminals. And most of them have a code of one variety or another. And even the heroes that will kill, for example, Wonder Woman, she's not going to just kill someone out of hand unless that person attacks her and shows themselves to be violent. If you are not a combatant, she's not just going to murder you. She's a warrior and she has a code. And a lot of Marvel characters are in a very similar vein. They have codes. Um, Captain America is not just going to kill out of hand, but if you attack him or the innocent, he's going to cap your ass, if you'll pardon the pun. And he does. People don't really seem to understand that the Captain America kills people, and he kills them a lot. When you see him kick someone across a room and into a wall, that guy isn't going to walk that off. And it's less cartoonish than you see in let's say some of the Mel Gibson's Lethal Weapon films, for example. The whole shooting range thing I've mentioned, where there are no consequences to the actions, a little more realistic than that, but not much because it's supposed to be very. These are bad guys with the black hats. It's okay to kill them. But the Punisher is about vengeance and about destruction of real people in a really visceral, realistic manner. He's not using superpowers. He's not some mystical avenger. He's a torturer and a murderer. He is a bad guy. Now you can say he's an anti-hero. It's a classic trope. You are correct. He is an anti-hero. He is a classic trope. He's a torturer and a murderer. And the fact that the heroes of the Marvel Universe haven't come down on him like a 10-ton weight speaks volumes about the structure that the writers have created in the Marvel Universe. There are lots of heroes that would view Frank Castle as a bad guy, as a serial killer, as a serial torturer. And he should be removed. He should be jailed or killed in the course of being apprehended. And there's no two ways about that. And the fact that he has his own show, that they're glorifying the violence that Frank Castle reaps upon the world, I find really disturbing. Again, I found the whole concept of Dexter disturbing. He was a serial killer. I don't care who he was killing. He was a serial killer. And he was glorified. He was lauded. He was applauded. I'm not into slasher flicks. I'm not into torture porn. That's replaced sex for some people in many ways when it comes to entertainment. Give me sex any day. I'll take pretty people having sex over torture and murder. And while I still have an appreciation for some of the things that you find in entertainment, and I'm willing to accept a fairly broad range of violence in my entertainment, glorifying torture and murder in an entire series seems twisted to me. And within the Marvel Universe, it makes no sense to me that Frank Castle has not been eliminated. He is a bad guy. He's got the black hat. He wears a big skull on his shirt. There is no way that Captain America or Daredevil or Spider-Man could view him any way other than what he is. And he should have been taken out by now. And the only reason he hasn't is because the writers want a character like Frank Castle in the Marvel Universe to attract a certain demographic to their comics, to their TV shows, to their films. And that's disturbing to me. I think maybe I expected better of Stan Lee.